Greetings and salutations to you people of the interwebs, and welcome to this week's edition of Transformer of the Week. Well, I'm going to be looking at this guy. This is G1 Runabout. He's a Battlecharger. There was two Battlechargers in G1. There was Runabout and Runamuck. So they had names that were both terrible and awesome at the same time. He's a black and red sports car, and this is the one that I had as a child. So, it brings back a lot of memories for me. So you can't go wrong with a bit of black and red, even though this is like the most kind of generic of sporty-ish looking cars, sporty-ish. So, it's got that. There's not much going on underneath there to tell you it's a Transformer. It doesn't do much of a transforming, to be honest with you. Like I said, this is the one I had as a child. I don't know if you can make out all the scuff marks on this guy. The Decepticon symbols, ropey. The window there is a bit peeled off. And that rub sign is shagged. But other than that, and all these scuff marks, he's done terribly well for his age. It says on the back here, if my eyesight doesn't fail me. Good, I might be. It says Hasbro, it says Takara. There's a date there, but it's almost like, to see those finer details, Richard, you might start needing to look at getting glasses, but or a magnifying glass at least, with my old eyes. Let me see you again once with my old eyes. My own eyes. I'm channeling Darth Vader now. It's the black is red. The power of the dark side of the Force. Yeah. Anyway. So what he is a Battlecharger who this is in the Halican days of G1 were Battlechargers and jump starters and things, pullback gimmick type Transformers weren't their own separate deviated lines where you'd have Optimus Prime and Bumblebee and Starscream and Megatron as a pullback Transformer, but they're actually mainline Transformer characters in their own right. Runabout was one of them. He's a punk, and there was a comic book, and they just ran around with spray paint and stuff like that. So he was a bit of a punk Decepticon, but his ability is that he can transform really fast. Doesn't help him being a bit shit. He is a bit shit, but considering the condition of a lot of my other G1 figures from the day, this guy has aged remarkably well. They don't make sturdy plastic like this anymore, and this guy is designed to be scuttling across kitchen floors, running into things, and etc, etc. So, this guy's been battered, but still remains in pretty good nick, considering how old he is. That's good. And we always talk about, triggering nostalgia and figures like that. And I do have a lot of nostalgia for, the comic books and the cartoon and the Transformer figures as a whole. But this guy and others like him, like Twin Twist and the Throttlebots, there's something about that gimmick, that repetitive gimmick of pulling back and letting go and seeing if they transform, or just if the Throttlebots don't even transform, they just scuttle around. But there's something about that more so than the transforming, that actually grounds memories. I can distinctly remember what the pattern of my kitchen, or the kitchen of the family home, was like. The pattern of the tiles on the floor was like when I handled this figure. It really kind of triggers memories of more so than nostalgia, but triggers memories of being in that kitchen as a child. So I think in that way, this is quite a cool figure, and all these scrapes and scuffs and somewhat have been caused through the year, through my use, through me playing with it. So that's kind of a real, tangible, tactile thing with this. Anyway, enough of me being philosophical. Let's join the fun bit. I'm sure what we want to see is, will this guy still hold up? So what we're going to do is we're going to change the camera angle, and we're going to try and scuttle this guy, so we'll actually do a bit of transforming. So yeah, we get over here like so. So we start over here, pull him back, let him go. Oh, not this time, son. Oh. This is Twin Twist all over again, so I expect Gary Chum will have found an actual one that still works here, and will be able to mock me. I don't know if we want to just... Come on. In theory, he still does this. He's done it before when the camera's not been working. But never work with children, animals, or pull-back transformers. So yeah, it's surprising this guy survived so long. Because I should imagine, as a child, I might have thrown this guy across the kitchen by now. And for those of you who know what this robot mode looks like, you know that actually all this effort is not going to be rewarded very well. Son of a dick. Right, okay. Now we're going to try that again. As he... So we did once. That was kind of a misfire. We're supposed to transform mid rolling. Come on. Here we go. Well, that didn't help. I feel like this stage here, he wants to... Right, so that's as far as we're going. This is Runabout. This is his robot mode. Yeah, it's a good try. I think you can see the stress marks on this bin here. That's the thing that transforms him. So it's a very kind of abstract mode, really. But you know, head, body, arms, fingers, legs, feet. You can see how in animation and cartoon it actually make quite a fun looking figure, especially with this visor and a mask. And this head unit here, flap. It actually gives it quite a distinct look when, you know, drawn. But as an actual figure, yeah, it's not. It doesn't. It's a bit naff. Let's just get there. Let's just get there. It does come with an accessory. It comes with this red gun that mounts on his shoulder, like so, because, you know, those hands are pretty useless. So it's a shoulder-mounted blaster. You can wobble in, so you can go strafe the room there. I quite like how the back there is kind of like a anti-face. Look at that little face there. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, he's naff, but he's a good reminiscence of some of the more crazier figures we get within the G1 line. And I'd quite like him to revisit this guy, but I'd also quite like him when they do to have a pullback gimmick and have a transformation that works while he pulls it back. I'd quite like to see how they could do that. Modern day technology. Make a flipping Battlecharger. So yeah, I could see where the fun was in this. It's not quite working at this moment in time. But I say it's a good reminiscence, although by no means the best G1 figure. In fact, probably one of the worst. But he's still a fun Transformer and a fun little punk character. And that's why he's this week's Transformer of the Week. Join me next week when there'll be more Transformers and there'll be more weeks. Until then, be excellent to each other, party on, dudes, and because you deserve it, let's give a fist, shall we? Fisto! Fisto!